Personal support workers poised to hit the picket lines. Icy roads lead to a rash of mishaps on the Thunder Bay Expressway. And world leaders gather to say farewell to Nelson Mandela. Good evening and thank you for being with us. A province-wide strike by personal support workers will see 25 people walk off the job in Thunder Bay tomorrow.
CEIU Healthcare, the union that represents the personal support workers, has given notice to Red Cross Care Partners. They will begin job action Wednesday. The workers have been in a legal strike position for several weeks and without a contract since April. The 25 local members of the SEIU provide health home care services for about 125 seniors in the city. Representative Bill Joblin says they perform a difficult job in difficult circumstances. Joblin says personal care workers earn a maximum of $14.50 an hour.
They're extremely underpaid workers who are extremely hardworking and dedicated individuals. Their benefit package is insufficient, and also their pension plan does not exist. So we're trying to get basic rights for our workers, and the workers are having a very complicated and tough and frustrating time with this, because really at this point in time they're really dedicated to their clients, and this is a really tough decision for them to walk out.
The Canadian Red Cross and Red Cross Care Partners say they are looking at all options to minimize disruptions to clients during the strike. They also claim the SEIU are misinforming the public. Joblin says the personal care workers are just looking for a living wage.
3 people were sent to hospital following a 3-vehicle collision on the Thunder Bay Expressway this morning. That accident happened between John Street and Oliver Road. The driver of a southbound SUV lost control of his vehicle, crossed the center line and collided with a Jeep. A northbound transport was unable to avoid the collision and also struck the Jeep. A 54-year-old woman and a 2-year-old boy in that Jeep were transported to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Both the Jeep and the SUV sustained extensive damage. Also this morning, OPP responded to 2 other incidents where vehicles slid into the ditch due to icy road conditions. No injuries were reported. As for Thunder Bay Police, they were busy. Traffic Sergeant Glenn Porter says they responded to 45 minor accidents yesterday, another 33 accidents today, and had another 40 self-reported collisions over the past 48 hours.
It looks like a working smoke detector may have played a role in helping to avert a fire-related tragedy this weekend. Thunder Bay Fire and Rescue say it was a basement smoke alarm that alerted the family to a fire in their Dawson Road home on Sunday. That alarm allowed the family to gather their pets, phone 911, and exit the building safely. The blaze completely destroyed the residence, and the cause remains under investigation. Fire officials say the incident should serve as an example to everyone of the importance of having working smoke alarms, in your home.
The fatal hit-and-run trial of a 28-year-old Christian Hernandez is set to continue in the new year. A verdict was expected to be read in late November. However, the judge required more time to determine just what evidence would be considered admissible in court. A 911 call made by the girlfriend of the accused will be allowed to be used as evidence. The Crown had argued that because the couple is now married, that call should not be admissible. The judge has also ruled that breath samples Hernandez gave at the police station that night can also be used in evidence. 45-year-old Richard Carmichael was hit by a car in December 2010 while walking near the corner of Van Norman and High Streets. He later died as the result of blunt force trauma. Hernandez, who now lives in southern Ontario, is charged with impaired driving causing death and failure to remain at the scene. The case will return to court on March 20th.
An annual report from the province's Auditor General says salaries, pensions, and bonuses at Ontario Power Generation are significantly more generous than those for comparable positions in the civil service. Bonnie Lizick says the situation is having a financial impact on the cost of electricity. She says OPG has cut staff by 8.5%, but increased the size of its highly paid executive and senior management group by almost 60% since 2005. Incentive awards for OPG's non-unionized staff can be up to $1.3 million, and their top 5 executives will be eligible for pensions ranging from $180,000 to $760,000 a year.
Landowners near a planned subdivision have asked the city to add some extra conditions before giving the development the green light. Stage 4 of the Dawson Heights plan calls for 15 lots for single detached homes, 20 townhouses, and 5 sixplexes. But owners of 44 acres of land nearby have some concerns about their liability if people go onto their property. Dennis Ward has more.
The developer has already constructed 2 stages of the subdivision west of Wardrope Avenue, and a third is underway right now. New homes, townhouses, and sixplexes, along with 2 new streets and a walkway, are all proposed for the latest phase. Those would lead right to a wooded area owned by the Fedorchuk family. Darlene Fedorchuk wants to see signage and a fence for those who think the property is parkland.
There's concern from us that people will be unloading their skidoos, quads, dirt bikes, etc., and teenagers going onto the property, setting up forts, having fires. This is a forested piece of property. So the liabilities become extenuated.
Fedorchuk says her family is all for the subdivision, provided their concerns are addressed. The city had calls and letters from others worried about the sixplexes and townhouses, but nobody spoke out at the meeting. None of the lots have been sold yet. Owner Desmond Anala says just a few years ago there was a big demand for lots. Now he's not so sure.
There's a lot of circumstances like the Ring of Fire and everything, which is one of the reasons that everybody gave for the big demand for lots, and now none of us know what's going to happen with the Ring of Fire and the mining and the people that it's going to bring into Thunder Bay.
Council can't make a decision on a subdivision for at least 14 days. The plan will come back on January 13th. Dennis Ward, TBT News.
Less than half of Aboriginal adults in Canada have received a post-secondary education, and Matawa First Nations management wants to change that. Today marked day 1 of a 3-day education forum being held here in Thunder Bay. It's all part of a long-term strategy that, as Ryan Benazzo tells us, aims to take advantage of First Nations opportunities, specifically in the mining sector.
It is a constant struggle for First Nations students.
A struggle, no doubt, but members of Matawa First Nations want to ease the burden and make it easier for Aboriginal students to get the education they need to thrive as adults. Just how to accomplish that remains uncertain, but that's what this week's Community Education Forum is all about, gathering information and ideas. Matawa Management CEO David Paul Ashney-Peneshkum sees opportunities on the horizon for a skilled First Nations workforce, particularly in resource-based industries like mining.
Not only look at the labor type of employment opportunities, we also want to look at skilled jobs. You know, welders, mechanics, scientists in those areas. So we believe those opportunities are there.
The conference was scheduled well before the federal government proposed its controversial First Nations Education Act, but nonetheless, it's well-timed. With nearly unanimous criticism of the act from Aboriginal groups across the country, Ashney-Peneshkum says it's important for Matawa to have a concrete education plan in place.
Opposition to any government legislative is fine, but we're also got to, be ready to put out. We'll use our position. Here's the way we see it, and that's the intent of this conference.
There's still no word on how long it will take for Matawa chiefs to develop a plan. Former Liberal Party leader Bob Rae, who's now Matawa's lead negotiator on the Ring of Fire, is scheduled to speak at the conference on Wednesday. Ryan Benazzo, TBT News.
As that piece emphasized, now more than ever, it's crucial that all of our young people receive an education. And a new partnership announced today will help to ensure children in care have this important tool for their future success. Local child welfare agencies have signed a new protocol with area school boards to help improve the odds of graduation for children and youth who are wards of the Crown. With about 600 clients in the Thunder Bay District alone, the protocol is an important tool in helping them complete every level of a schooling.
What we're trying to do with this protocol is work with these children to ensure that there's less moves. So maybe if a child needs to stay in a school, we can accommodate by providing transportation for them and continue with, if they're on an education plan or if they have special services delivered from the school, so they will have that available to them.
It's exceptionally important, and when we talk about post-secondary, we also include trades, but In the past, I think you could get into trades quite easily without a grade 12 education, or you could get a job at the mill. But the employment field is becoming a lot more competitive these days, and it becomes even more important for youth to at least have a grade 12 education.
Policies and procedures of 6 different school boards in the district had to be considered, which is why this new protocol took 2 years to materialize.
A pair of local food drives kicked off in Thunder Bay today. For the past 19 years, the annual Santa Bus has been traveling around the city to help those in need. Thunder Bay Transit and Transit Union Local 966 have teamed up again to spread a little cheer throughout the community. The Santa Bus will be collecting dry goods for the Thunder Bay Food Bank until this Sunday on all city buses. The food drive is an opportunity for transit employees to join the public in helping bring joy and happiness to those who might need it during the holiday season.
Other than having to go out in the weather and especially right now with our minus, what was it, minus 31 this morning, rather than fight the weather, we've got the buses coming right to your door. So it's really convenient, really easy. You know, it can be a nice thing to do with your kids to show how to share. And we hope that it's another successful year this year because the need is growing.
Meanwhile, the Regional Food Distribution Association and Safeway have officially launched their annual campaign. Customers are encouraged to put the food bank on your shopping list by purchasing care packages that contain the most needed non-perishable items.
We have these little packages, and anything that makes it simpler for people to support us, we certainly love. Not only is it easy for people to purchase them, but they also are guaranteed to have the items that are the most important for us inside of them. We have a list of our most wanted items, and the packages have those items in them.
Customers can purchase $5 and $10 Safeway care packages. Once purchased, they can be placed in the food collection bin located at the front of the Thunder Bay Safeway.